But that is okay because that's what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you today? It is Friday, April 30th. It is digital release day for our new CD, Koch Marshall Trio from the UPNA. Ladies and gentlemen, that's exciting. It's exciting to me, exciting to you, hopefully. Hopefully it's exciting to you. Folks, Dylan couldn't be with us today. He went up to the UPNA to do some work at our cottage, at our family lair. And now here we are. Here I am anyway. I'm going to post this over here. Come on, get out of my way. Newsfeed. Boom. Hopefully the people are watching on YouTube. I'm right side up. I had a little problem yesterday. Decided to post a video I did upside down. A lot of people thought I did that on purpose. And all I have to say is, of course I did. And that's that. I'm sharing this. Boom. I'm going to go over here and share this over here. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, folks, how we doing out there? You doing all right? Mark Bjork, how you doing out there? Your copy is digitized. Did you get it? Did you get the digitalization of the new jam? See? That's right. They came to see me look at my phone, not actually to play. No Dylan today. He had to do some work at our cottage. Han Solo, that is correct. I thought it'd be kind of fun to play a couple of the riffs from the new record for your listening and dining pleasure. And new record, no, I'm not going to be at Dallas this weekend, Nathan. Unfortunately, I had to cancel. There's some personal stuff here on the home front I needed to be home for, so I need to stay. I need to stay home. So he is in the UPNA, as a matter of fact, Michael. He is in the UPNA. That is that's the first tune. The first tune on the new CD from the UPNA Koch Marshall Trio. Available today wherever digital things are digitized. And, as a matter of fact, I can do something very... Watch this. Are you guys ready for it? I don't know if you're ready for this. Look at that. There it is. From the UPNA Koch Marshall Trio. Anyways, let me... I actually used this guitar on that track. I used this and one of my signature, I think I used the orange Gristle Master for the telly parts on there, for the Schmankelischisch parts. But I used that part on the main part of the tune in the first solo. And then the ping pong solos at the end are this guitar and the orange Gristle Master. They're duking it out. Poom, pish, pow. So let me show you that riff just for the hell of it. Let's see what we got here. Go back here and we'll go like this. No, of course. Of course. There we go. So this is kind of a cool C. I'm actually muting the D string. And then I'm using my pick on the A string. Middle finger on the G string, ring finger on the B string. When I'm doing that, I've got the pick on the A string, and then I got my ring finger on the high E string, middle finger on the B string. of doom and destruction. And this other part goes. That's how that goes. Are the mics in the right place on the amp? Yeah, well, no, this thing is over here, isn't it? Hang on. It's always something here in the place of shame. Hang on. Sometimes gravity is an asshole. I mean, gravity is. There we go. Of course, I am using the pedal there, Ryan. That might have something to do with it. Here's the amps instead. That's the amp distortion. That's what I used on the record, by the way. I used the amp distortion as opposed to a pedal. The amp distortion always sounds better, I find. The tubes breathing. Thank you, Funky Claus on the new record. Is a thank you. Love the arrangement. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The second tune I did was the. That little lick right there, that's from the second tune, the Tussle. And originally I had this riff that went like... So if I show that. And then... When we got in the studio, I started playing it with more of a...
those chords there, I make them look harder than they are because that's just the way I fret. Looks weird, but I'm actually going B flat 13, A7 with a raised fifth, and then E flat 9 to D7 sharp 9. And then just F7, F sharp 7, G. When it goes to that E minor, I do this little blues run in E. It's kind of fun. And then it does this little kind of tritones thing. Go to a C9, put the flanger on it. Then I go up to E flat and do the same thing. And then to G flat. Up to A. And then. Sorry. I usually have the phaser on a little. Can you dig it? Real mother for you. Oh, that's that one. It's F minor, and then like a G major, G triad over F. Half step down again to F sharp to F. I just kind of Richie Blackmore'd up that leg. Use Mr. Thumb over there to... The thumb is your friend, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be afraid of it. The thumb is your friend. Use it. Can you dig it? Soul Stroll. There you go. The chords of that one were kind of fun. I played a Strat on that song, by the way. So that goes B major 7. I do that little hammer on. G major 7. G sharp minor 7 flat 5 to E9. Slide thing I do on there sounds something like, let's see what we got. Goes by God. Boom, do 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 do. Let's see, love it. You give my wife Gina a shout out. Gina, hey Gina. Gina, Gina. Oh, what's going down? That song I was just playing is called Soul Stroll, and that's on the new CD. You can actually hear a little bit of it. I'll play a little bit of it here. I can. I have the technology. You guys ready? Oh, wait, where did it go? Ryan, it went somewhere. Oh, I have to go. I see what you did. So check this out. get the idea. Can you hear that? Can you dig that? That sound all right? You could hear that all right? We were messing around with being able to play something on the stream that was direct. So when I have to do that, I have to nix my vocal mic. Yeah, that right-hand muting technique I do for that stuff. It's my ring finger on the here. Let's shorten up here. Ring finger on the high E string, middle finger on the B string, first finger on the G string, and the thumb kind of drapes over. And that's the basic template. So when I start getting to the lower strings, I always kind of revert to these two. Yes. Can you dig it? That little song, Soul Stroll. That's not easy to play. That little ring is kind of a pain in the butt. And then soloing over those chords, I don't want to go full jazz boy, but it's a B major 7 to G, so I might go like when it goes. So I'm thinking E9 for both the G sharp minor 7 flat 5 and the E9. They're kind of the same chord with a different root. So I can think of B Dorian for both of those. First I'm thinking B, first chord I'm thinking B major 7 for a minute. And then I'm thinking A natural minor or B natural minor for the second chord. And then for the second two chords, I'm thinking B mixolydian. No, B Dorian. Sorry, let's review. B Ionian or B major. Then I'm thinking B natural minor. Then I'm thinking B Dorian on that song. Can you dig it? Yeah. You must have a light touch for slide on the. Yeah, I have the action low. I think the glass slide helps with a softer touch with lower action. What? Oh, yeah, you mean behind my Gristlemaster? Yes, I see you out there, diggity doggone it. I am making up words. There's nothing wrong with it. B Corinthian, exactly. That's what all those scales together make. B Corinthian leather. Shout out to Ricardo Montalban, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Corinthian leather, right? Am I right or am I right? I like that, Jeff. Jeff says, got my CD in the mail on Tuesday. Been rocking out in the car all week. I like that kind of talk. I like that kind of talk. Yeah, it was fun putting that CD together. There's some all kinds of different weird songs on there that I like. I actually used my octave thing my buddy Tim Yard had made on a tune called Brushes. I used that. that sounds angry. That is, that's that pedal right there. My F up pedal. And that's a pedal that my buddy Tim Yarning made for me. The same guy makes my Gristle King. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Ryan. You're a champion. But yeah, that pedal right there, it's an octave fuzz that I have. I like to use it on one setting. I said, just take the knobs off of it and just give me an on and off switch. And that's what we did. Sneakerfoot has returned. The power of Sneakerfoot. Your CD is coming to Kangaroo Land. Looking forward to it. Excellent, Greg. I like that kind of talk. Sneakerfoot. I got a hole in my sneakers. I need to get some new sneakers. I got some hole in my sneakers. I do play a wah. I like using my favorite one. My buddy Tim, Mike McConaughey made me a thing, the Meccano wah, and that was fantastic. And then I got my Greek buddies at Jam Pedals in Greek have a thing called the Waco. And that's my favorite because there's a little device on it that you can set it to what you want the sweep of the wah to be. And it's fantastic. And so I like to use that. And I do have some, I've got some Rolling Stone socks on. I don't know if you guys saw that. See? Sneakerfoot and Glimmer Twins. Is that wrong? I don't think so. Dean asks a question, was there much in the way of overdubbing or was each song done in a single take? Kind of a mix of both. So, like in a song like Luna Girl, I recorded the main part live. So the middle solo, the main riff part, and most of the last solo. But then I kind of A-B'd it with, I thought it'd be fun to kind of put another voice in there. So then I overdubbed my Orange Gristle Master, more of the telly sound that goes back and forth with the 335. And then I overdubbed some stuff on top just to kind of, I doubled the main line with like a clean Strat just to make it, a little bit more production value, as it were. A tune like Soul Stroll, I recorded the. I'm trying to think. Did I did it live? I can't remember. Usually, I like to do them live. The only time when we don't do it live, as far as the solos are concerned, is if it's an arrangement that we're not 100% sure on. Then I'll play a bed track. And then I kind of have a mic on me, so I'll call out the changes like, okay, here's the B section coming up here, and so I'll just play rhythm for that and then overdub the solos. But most of the time we kind of play live. So for instance, a tune like Real Mother For You, the guitar part I did live, and I actually used the prototype Gristle 90 before I had the Fishman P90s yet. We were waiting on them, and I wanted to use that guitar, so I used that with the phaser. That end solo is that guitar, and I played it on that whole tune. I also used it on Daddy Long Legs. I used it on there as well. Yeah, I actually used my old on a song like Nubby the Hoarderman. I used an acoustic. I used that Caballero, my old 60s Epiphone Caballero that has a sound hole pickup. I used that with a little echo on it. And then I also used, I think, a Gristle Master. No, actually, I used the Gristle 90 on that as well. What the heck else? On Allura, that was all Blucifer. All that layering, that's Blucifer on there. The Koch amp is on the entire album. I did not use any amps other than the Koch amp. And all the gain sounds on the entire amp are the Koch amp. I did use various different pedals. I had my Jam pedal array. Yeah, there's definitely Zappa influence on there. Doggone it. Yeah, Nubby. The Nubby is. I was definitely worried about being more little feety than Frank Zappa, and then I started. I listened to that Captain Beefheart record, and I realized that it was also very similar to Advance Romance. No more credit at the liquor store. I realized, but hey. Lots of things are in that vein, but it was definitely in the ether. Let's put it that way. Can you dig it? Fast and bulbous. I like that kind of talk. Yes, Zappa meets Zeppelin. I'm all for that. Definitely some Little Feat in there too. Let's be honest. That's like Zappa, Little Feat, Zeppelin on that song. Name of the new album, please, Greg. Well, why is it called that? From the Upna? The Upna is Dylan's slang for up north. Let's go to the Upna. So when we were doing Daddy Longlegs, it was about my wife and daughters are absolutely freaked out by Daddy Longlegs spiders, and all of a sudden you'll just hear this blood-curdling scream. Ah! What is it? The Daddy Longlegs! And then Dylan himself is a Daddy Longlegs, so the whole tune became kind of a combination of Dylan's vernacular. The Upna, Crivo, the town is called Crivets. Let's go up to Crivo in the Upna. And he kind of grew a COVID beard, so it was going up to Crivo with your COVID beard. You're looking kind of scary. And the rest of it is history. That's kind of how that whole thing together. Hey, Greg, can I buy the album from the Apple Music Store? You certainly can. You can go there right now. Today's the day. It is available, and you can pounce. Good question. Where is the battery located on my Fluence pickups for the 335? So I had this guitar, and once I got that red Les Paul with the Fluence pickups in it, I could switch between the Strat, a Tele. This is before I had my Gristlemaster. A Strat, a Tele, and that Les Paul back and forth, and they all sounded like the epitome of what a Strat and a Tele and a Les Paul should sound like, and I didn't have to mess with the EQ of the amp at all. I was good to go. But when I grabbed the 335 with the conventional pickups on it, it sounded like a mud fest in comparison. So I was really bummed out because I really wanted to play this guitar. So I sent it to Fishman, and they figured out a way to put this, the pickups in, put the lithium battery underneath here, and right here underneath the pickguard is where I am able to plug in the mini charger, and away we go. Am I able to get the new CD in Europe? Paul, you can certainly download it. We're working on printing some in Germany, and then we can send them over there now, but it gets a little pricey, which we're fine to do if you don't mind paying the extra shipping costs. But we are looking into, which we've done this before, my tour manager in Aachen, in Germany, Klaus, Funky Klaus, named after Funky Klaus. Funky Klaus is going to print some CDs over there, and then he'll be able to fulfill orders over there for us as time progresses. And there you go. I can't find your video with your Les Paul on Voice 3. You know what? Next time I've got the Les Paul out, I will get you Voice 3. It's delicious. I know that's probably no help to you at this particular juncture in time, but it's a coil tap that really sounds different. Sounds great. Direwolf says your vocals sound great. Favorite signal chain with Mike. Oh, thank you very much. I just used whatever he had. He had some kind of elongated vocal mic of some sort. Steve's got some nice microphones, so I just planted myself in front of that bad boy and did my bellowing when the time was come. Someone asked about the amps. It is 50 watts or 25 watts and two 10-inch speakers. There's also a head version that's coming with a 212 bottom, which sounds majestic. I've been using that concoction when we were touring because it just gives me a little extra oomph when I'm playing with the trio. Grizzly 10s, it's exactly correct. Daddy Long is super catchy. Can you show us about how to play it? Sure, I can. It's kind of funny because initially, you know what song I was thinking of when I came up with that? It's Strange Brew, because I always loved that rhythm, which is oft neglected. So I'm going. So A7, F sharp minor, but I go. So it's like the B7 over F sharp for a split second there, and then I resolve it. That is an E7 sharp 9 in the Hendrix chord. That's that. That is that. Funky gristle, if you will. You're welcome, Jeff. E7, the Jimmy chord of doom. Dean asks, you were a fan of the reissue Vibroluxes, aren't you? They're one of my favorite. Yes, they were called the custom Vibrolux that they made from like 1995 up until maybe 2014, something like that. Maybe a little earlier than that. Time flies. But when they came out in 95, they had white Tolex, and I have two of those. And what's great about that amp is that they kind of function as a tweed amp with reverb. Reverb works on both on channels. So on the main channel, it's a bright channel. But then the normal channel, which just has a volume, a treble, and a bass, still has the reverb on it. That's the channel I preferred. And you could either run that on about 3.5 and then use your pedals with it, and it just really got sweet when you started adding a little heat. See what I did there? Or a lot of times I would just take that amp and face it at the wall, plug a telly straight into it, and turn it up to about 7, and sound like a plexi with reverb. Sounded diabolical. As a matter of fact, that's the amp that I used on the Toby Arrives record. The first 2 songs are, which is the song Toby Arrives and the song Funk Meat. Those were actually the first 2 tunes we ever played together, literally as they happened. We recorded them and they came on the record. I was using a Greg Martin Collector's Choice number 15 Les Paul, custom shop Les Paul, that I had a Peter Green wiring, so it was a middle I could get that squawky squawk. Straight into that Vibrolux. And then a Pro Junior. We blended the sound of the Pro Junior and the Vibrolux together, and that's that tone with no pedals. Just turn it up. Get it. Can you dig it? What was your preferred overdrive before the Gristle King? That's a good question, Joe. It's been so long, it's hard to remember. I used, of course, I used Tube Screamers forever. I would have a TS9, then I get some, and then I used a Maxon 808, MS 808, I think it was called, which was their version of an 808, which I really liked. And then for a while I was using a Full Drive 2, and that was a long time ago. That was before they were all, you could get them everywhere, and before Mike Fuller. Never mind. They were just gray boxes with sticky letters on them. And I used that. That's what I was using as an overdrive pedal on that Double the Gristle live recording. When you listen to that, which is finally up on iTunes now and everywhere else and Spotify and so on, It says the whole record is live. Unfortunately, that's not the case. It was a double CD, so the whole first half is studio jams and mostly all original songs. And then the second half is a live set. And on that live set, I was using my Blue Strat, which I believe back in the day had lace sensors in it, which actually worked well on that guitar because when I first got that guitar, it was really bright. And so having those lace sensors kind of cut the razor blades and hand grenades because those pickups aren't as bright as normal Strat pickups. So it worked well. Plus it mitigated the noise a bit. And I used, that full drive 2 is what I used for overdrive on that. And then I used that custom Vibrolux amp and a Silverface Deluxe. But I think in the mixing process, we ditched the Deluxe and it's all the Vibrolux on that record. Funk Meat highlights, yes. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Is Ken Haas here? I hope they're having fun down there. Down there in Texas. I was supposed to be in Dallas this weekend, but I couldn't make it because of some personal business here down the home front. But Ken's holding down the fort. Hey, Wayne, what's going on, Daddy-O? Woo! You know what? Speaking of lace sensors, I'm afraid to say it. I'm not going to be afraid to say it. I was a fan of that first generation of Clapton Strats. You can get some cool tones out of that. As a matter of fact, a lot of people over the years, I shouldn't say that because that sounds hyperbolic. Some people over the years have asked me what I've used on a tune called Absinthe, which was on the Defenestrator record, and then when I did The Grip, which was part compilation, part new release at the time, 2001. What I was using on a tune called Absinthe, not the live version, the studio version that's on The Grip. And I was using a Clapton Strat on the neck position through that Vibrolux. That's all I used on that. I did overdub some stuff, but the main part, the main melody and solo and all that kind of stuff was all done in one take. That part was a Clapton Strat, neck position, to that Vibrolux. Also on Defenestrator, I used that Clapton Strat on that Crackerjack Tattoo song. That's all done on that guitar. Ozzy says, bought your new album today. You should sing more. Well, thank you. There's plenty of vocalizing over the years. I'm finally starting to get all the tunes up on iTunes. It's going to be a little process, but in the next few months, I should have my entire catalog available on streaming services, which has not taken place in quite some time. And another problem is that little did I know when I had these various different incarnations of my ensembles that it would make it difficult to get everything under one roof. So you want to just if you look under my name, you'll see a certain amount of releases, but then there's Greg Koch on the tone controls, Greg Koch Trio, Greg Koch Band, Greg Koch and Other Bad Men, Greg Koch and Malford Milligan. Then there's the Koch Marshall Trio. They're all under different headings, so it's hard to get them all under one roof. Brian asked a good question. On the Upness, which tunes did you use the baritone? As I recall, I just used it on the Funky Klaus, if I'm not mistaken. And that was a Reverend Pete Anderson baritone. That guitar sounds freaking wicked. Actually, on that particular tune, there's probably the most overdubbing on that, I played that on the Gristle Master. I played that on an Airstream 12 string, and then I played slide on that as well. And then in the background, I had, and that was the baritone. So the Gristle, I'm trying to think I used for the slide solo. Can't remember. I may have used a 335 on that, on the slide solo. 60s and 70s and 90s towered over butt rock and 80s synth stuff. I don't. Keating said that. I don't. I'm queuing in late to that conversation. Sorry. Yes. Dig the baritone on there. Thank you, Patrick. I'm glad you dig it. The Gristle King, sup? Greetings, Paul. What's going on, Daddy-O? All right. Questions. Don't be afraid. We're talking about the new record today. It's out on all the digital streaming services. Did I say airwave? Did I say airstream, Adam? Thank you for correcting me. Jeff wants a little bit. You know what? I will do a little sample phrase of Sitting on Top of the World because, Jeff, I love that stuff. As a matter of fact, I was just listening to that Live 68 stuff today, as a matter of fact. Something like that. A little Sitting on Top of the World-ish extemporaneous jam. Can you dig it? Boo dare, doo doo dare, doo boo doo doo. Greg, in learning to play your songs, do you have any suggestion of where to start? Well, as a matter of fact, there's going to be a book of my transcriptions coming out June 1st. So it's Hal Leonard is putting it out. It'll have tablature and standard notation. And it'll be a collection of a bunch of my tunes from over the years. So I will let you guys know when that happens, and I'll definitely do signed versions for the first batch, and you guys can engage. So that should be fun. Good evening. I like your work. Thanks for your demo on the fuzz phrase jam pedal. Oh, thank you. I bought this pedal, but it doesn't sound right when I got home. It sounds very high end, even after adjusting the bass. I wonder, you know what? Fuzzes are a weird thing. I would say that, which you probably already know this, but in case you don't, always put the fuzz first thing in line, because if there's anything else in front of it, they start sounding weird. As a matter of fact, there's sometimes where I think a fuzz only sounds good by itself. So if you've tried it alone and it still sounds weird, then you might have a funky one. But most of the time, fuzzes do not play well with other pedals. So you always have to have them like the first thing in the chain, because if you put them after, they can get affected by stuff. Can you dig it? Yes, James says I can get a CB radio with my fuzz sometimes. Yeah, fuzzes are a weird beast. I've had various fuzzes. I do really like the jam pedals fuzz phase. It's called, right? Fuzz phrase, like in fuzz face. My buddy from Big Knob Pedals makes a great fuzz pedal. He made me a Yardbird 68 pedal, a custom pedal for me. He found the circuit of what Jimmy Page's fuzz was in the Yardbirds on the first Zeppelin record. So I really like that. Not as much fuzz as you'd think. It's just a nice little meaty, fuzzy drive. I also really like the Joe Bonamassa fuzz faces. For whatever reason, it's like that one's really meaty, and they just got a certain frequency range, and they said, okay, take all this stuff off. And yes, and fuzzes definitely don't like certain guitars. You are correct. Wow, Hike is putting out some interesting comments out there. Greg, do you have a shovel? I do indeed. Red 335, it just had to happen. Oh, you're welcome, Jeff. You know what's interesting about that last Cream tour is I think he only used the 335 at the Albert Hall show. I think for the rest of the tour, his primary guitar was that single pickup Firebird, that November, October 68 tour. And then he would use a Les Paul here and there. But I think most of that was on that Firebird. And then he got to the Albert Hall, and then he used that Firebird for a bit, and then he used that 335. And then Jerry Donahue told me a story years ago that he sold Clapton that 335, but he must have sold him a different 335 because Clapton had a 335 ever since he was in the Yardbirds, because he had one then. But who knows? Those guys have a million different guitars. Anyway. Joshua says, the Upnet album is awesome, by the way. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Greg, what's happening tomorrow? Well, tomorrow would have been our scheduled live stream with Toby, but I was supposed to be in Dallas for this week, and I had to cancel last minute because of some personal business on the home front. So we're taking the weekend off. So we won't do another live stream with Toby for another 2 weeks from Saturday. And that's that. Did I ever meet Clapton? That's kind of a funny story. We did play at Eric Clapton's Crossroads Festival, the first one. I played there with a band that was me and my buddy Johnny C. from home here, and then Roscoe Beck on bass, Mike Cross on vocals, and Riley Osborne on B3. So it was kind of an Austin-Milwaukee conglomeration. And we played at the festival, and it was a lot of fun. And we rocked and we rolled. And while we were playing, the coolest part was that we're playing. I'm looking, and Billy Preston's on the side of the stage, just rocking to the jams. I'm like, that's cool. So we get done playing. Clapton's nowhere to be seen. So I got my stuff packed up and I'm hanging out backstage. And here comes Clapton. I'm like, well, did he see us play? Did he not see us play? I don't know. We don't lock eyes or anything. And then at one point, he was conversing with J.J. Cale privately, and I was like, I'm not going up to him. And then of course Johnny, my buddy's like, he went right up, said, oh, excuse me, guys, hey fellas. I was like, I'm not doing that. So then towards the end, Clapton's like leaving, not for the day, but going someplace, and he's got a couple of bodyguards with him. And he was literally, his back was like right. I would have had to have gone like this. I just couldn't do it. So what if I go like this and say, hey, Eric, how's it going? Just wanted to say hi. What if he's a knob? I just couldn't take it. I thought I can't have that be tainted. So I'll meet him again some other time was my thought. And who knows if that'll ever happen. But hey, we're going to do. Elbar asks if I've tried one of the new Universal Audio Starlight Echo stations. I have not. I heard they're cool, but I have not. Drade, loving my Upna CD with autograph. Oh, I'm glad you're digging it. Thank you very much. Jeff says, the only thing better than listening to From the Upna is eating a bratwurst while listening to From the Upna. I appreciate that. Genius says the album sounds gristle-tastic. Glad you dig it. Tell us about this 335. Well, that's an excellent question. This is a 2013 Gibson Memphis ES335. And I was gifted it, which was very nice. I think it's okay to say that at this point in time. And it was because we had sold so many of these doggone things through Wildwood Guitars. They said, boy, maybe we should set them up, which was very nice. So I loved it. I really wanted a 335 again. It was my main guitar back in the day. I had a blonde one. It got stolen. I replaced it with another blonde one. Wasn't as great, but I still used it. Then I had a Tobacco Sunburst 335, and then I sold them. I sold them all. And then didn't have another one until this one. And I really love the sound of it by itself, but again, once I got Fluenced up, it paled in comparison, so I needed to get Fluence pickups on it. So I sent it to Fishman, and they set it up for me. Adam Baum asks, and Patrick McManus rightly responds, what is that rotary pedal I love so much? I use the Neo Instruments ventilator as my favorite rotating speaker thing. But since I got on my amplifier, I have that harmonic vibrato. That kind of functions as my Univibe / rotary speaker thing. But I've been so enjoying my Phase 95 on the 45 setting. I'm kind of addicted to it. So that's kind of like my new thing. But that new Jam pedal is great. That Harmonious Monk, that's a great harmonic vibrato pedal. I also love this pedal I got years ago because I love the sound of the Magnatone, old Lonnie Mack, Robert Ward Magnatone vibrato, and this guy makes these pedals from Bigfoot Effects. He makes something called the Magnavibe, and this thing sounds damn good. So there you go. I'm seeing a comment that just says jazz chords. Are you asking about jazz chords? I'm sorry, I didn't see the rest of the question. Greg, any experience with the Kalamazoo Heritage guitars, and how are they fare against the Gibsons? Dennis, I've played a few of them. I thought they were very, very nice. I didn't A-B them, but I thought that with the ones that I played, I was like, hell, I could totally make this work. And they're beautiful. So, all good. Ever used a Fender Vibratone? Yes, I had. I owned a couple back in the day. I don't know why I sold it. I just, you get stuff and then it goes. I didn't, because I didn't use it live. I used it in the studio. And then I thought, well, now if I'm ever in the studio, I'll just use a different Leslie and I'll be fine. Because it wasn't loud enough for me. Anyway, what pickups are they? These are the Fishman Fluence classic humbuckers there. Doodle-doo-doo, can you dig it? Well, listen, folks, it's about that time. I got to hit the road here. Excuse me. Thanks so much for tuning in on this glorious Friday afternoon. And thanks for your support on the new CD. And I'll show you there it is again. You can find it on all the digital streaming services at this point in time. You can still get hard copies through my website or through Amazon. Can you dig that? All right, folks, you guys have a good one. We will see you next time.